to start by giving you guys just a general overview of what I'm going to talk about. Essentially, I'm going to start by giving an overview of the VNN team app, show you guys kind of what it's built to do and how it's built to help you. Then I'm going to dive into the specific features that we have. So I'll go through the training, the communication, the calendars, and also how it syncs to your VNN website. And then at the very end, I'll walk you guys how to get started, how to get your program activated, how to get your athletes invited, how to get your parents invited, and all of that so that you can start to utilize this platform in your guys' respective programs. With that being said, I'm going to start by kind of giving you a general overview. And essentially, a lot of you guys are probably aware of your VNN athletic website. The VNN team app is a tool that is additional to your guys' website. And essentially, it's built to save coaches time. So we have some communication features, we have some calendar features, and we have some training features. And really, these features are meant to be in one single spot. You're able to access all of those features from one app, as well as you have the ability to sync some things with your guys' VNN website. So score reporting, article posting, photo galleries, that sort of thing. You can do all of that right from inside the app as well. And really the main purpose of this is so you guys can streamline everything that you're doing in your program, whether it be weight workouts, messages for parents or athletes, calendars, score reporting, all of that from one spot to make your guys' lives easier. Now, with that being said, we obviously have the VNN team app on your phones, and I'll be showing you guys through some images of what this looks like. I'll show you how you can utilize all the features that I talk about on the apps. And then we also have this web version of the app, which I'll be walking you through today as well. And I'll send you guys this link too so that you have it, so that once you get activated, you're able to go here and start to play around on the web version as well. Now, with all that being said, we have a free version of the team app that each and every one of you guys are able to get started in as soon as today if you want to. And the free version of the app, comes with some basic messaging features as well as all of the calendar features. Now, we also have an elite upgrade that essentially you guys can upgrade to. That includes unlimited messaging, all of the same calendar features, as well as some training features. Particularly speaking to football coaches like you, as you guys enter the off season, this is really the perfect time for you guys to get set up with your off season training tools. So, as we enter Christmas break and as January comes about, I'm sure a lot of you guys are getting ready for the off season, whether it be strength training or speed and agility workouts, off season conditioning, that sort of thing. And so today I'm really going to walk you through how these training features, as well as the communication and the organization features, can help you guys prepare your programs for the off season, so that next season when it comes around, you guys will be ready for it. So with all that being said, I'm going to jump into the training here first. I'm going to go through this and then I'll go through the rest of the features. Again, as I mentioned, if you have any questions, I'm going to be checking out the chat section periodically. So if you have questions, throw them in the chat and I'll get to all of those as well as we go. With that being said, I'm going to jump into the training here. And what you guys can do with the training, essentially it's broken down into two sections. So we have these 4 training libraries: coaching resources, education materials, strength and conditioning, and skill development. These are places where you can store content, you can store exercises, videos, PDFs, anything that you want your athletes to see to get better. And I'll show you how to go about that process of adding this content. But once you get the content in here, I'll show you how to create workouts, how you can build, off-season workout programs, and then also assign those workouts right to your athletes' phones so that they can complete the workouts, record their results, and track them on live leaderboards. Now, with that being said, for the strength and conditioning, for any of these 4 libraries, the process to add content is all the same. What you'll do after you select a training library, you'll click this plus in the top right corner. And once I do that, I'm able to fill in the details of my exercise. So for example, if I want to add bench press, I can type that in, change my category. I can decide what I want my athletes to record. So in this case, I want them to record how much they lifted. You can include percent of max. You can include different leaderboards, which I'll talk about a little bit later. And then you can also type in some coaching points or some forms, some technique, some things you want your athletes to be conscious of as they're doing this exercise. Then if you want to, you don't have to, but if you want to, you can add videos or PDFs explaining that drill or exercise. So if you want to upload a video or a PDF file showing the athlete the correct form or the proper technique, you can download something right from your computer, or you can copy and paste a URL from YouTube or Vimeo to give to your athletes so that it'll link right to that activity. You can then tag those exercises. So bench press, maybe we'll put that in an upper body tag. So I'll add that in. And then essentially when I add this tag, when I save this exercise to my training library, it'll be tagged in whatever tag labels I put on it. So you can keep everything organized in your training libraries. Another thing to note is all of these preloaded strength videos we have. So we're partnered with John Sanderson from the University of Michigan Strength Program. And he's given us over 75 strength videos that you guys can use with proper form for these exercises. And you can use these to create workouts. Now, obviously, if you want to add your own content, you can use that same process that I just showed you, and you can do that just the same. Again, the difference between these 4 training libraries, skill development is going to be sport specific. So for football coaches, for guys like you, it'll be, maybe some position specific drills, quarterback drills, offensive line drills, that kind of thing. Education materials is going to be a place where you can store playbooks, you can store scouting reports, you can store, camp information, however you guys want to do it for your athletes to see. Leadership content is another one. And then the coaching resources tab is only available for your coaching staff. So if you guys want to collaborate on some different things, some different off-season training things you want to collaborate on, you can add this in here and your athletes won't have access to it. This will only be for coaches. So those are the 4 training libraries that I just talked about. And once you guys get content into these 4 libraries, you can go ahead and start building workouts with them. So if I go to the workouts tab here, I can click the plus. We'll name this week 1 Monday. Maybe that's when your program starts. We click next. This is going to load my training libraries that I was just showing you. So you can make it a skill development workout. You can use your education materials, or you can use strength and conditioning. I'll just select a few exercises so you guys get the general idea. But essentially, once I select those exercises, I can drag them and drop them and build my workout however I want my athletes to complete it. So once you add them in, you can click the pencil, you can change around the sets, you can change around the reps. Maybe planks is going to be 3 sets of 1 minute. So you can also do it by time. Back squats obviously going to be maybe 3 sets of 10, or if you wanted to do a pyramid set of 12-8-6 or 10-8-6, however you guys want to do it, you can do it that way as well by making the first set 1 set of 10, the second one 1 set of 8, and the third one 1 set of 6, and so on. You can customize your workouts however you guys want your athletes to complete them. Once you finish your workouts, you'd click finish. It would show up with the rest of your workouts here in the create edit tab. You can then take those workouts and put them into a larger multi-week or multi-month program. So it's a similar idea. Essentially, you would type in the name of your program, you click next, and here you're going to be dragging workouts into your workout program, whereas before you were dragging exercises into your workouts. So from here, I'll take for this example, I'll just take 4 workouts. I'll just create a quick 2-week program, but you get the idea. I can create week 1, I can create week 2, and you can drag the workouts in, and you can see how easy it would be to create your entire off-season program here in one spot. You can go in and you can edit the workouts, make sure it's everything you want, change around the sets and the reps right from in here as you are when you add the workouts there. Once you build your programs and your workouts, you can assign them to your athletes, and this is a good way to keep everybody accountable and keep everybody on the right schedule. So essentially, you can create your groups with this plus, or you can use groups you already have created. Then you can go and you can look at your individual workouts, or you could look at your workout programs and you can start to assign them to your athletes. So if I want week 1, day 1 to assign on the 23rd, I'll click on the 23rd. I can add a notification for when I want my athlete to be notified to complete it. And then I can go ahead and do the same thing for each of these days. For my entire program, you can schedule out your workout program and ensure that your athletes are completing the workouts on the days that they should. Now, the really cool thing is once you assign this on this day, the athletes actually get that notification on their phone. They're able to start the workout inside the VNN team app. They can see all the exercises they have to complete. For the exercise they're on, if they tap it, they'll be able to read your coaching points. They'll be able to watch a video if you've included one, and they can also input their results. Now the results are super helpful because they will show up on these leaderboards inside the phone, or for you guys on the web version as well. You guys can see the leaderboards on your phones in the app or on the computer, which I'll show you in a second. And essentially, the purpose of these leaderboards is to create that culture of not only competition, but also accountability in your program. We want you to be able to keep track of what your athletes are doing. We want your athletes to be able to see, okay, what do I have to do to climb that leaderboard? What do I have to do to improve this off season and really take my game to the next level? So we have the points leaderboard, which is more of our cumulative participation leaderboard. But then we also have the performance leaderboard, which is going to track actual results. So every exercise, every activity that you assign will show up in the performance leaderboard. And then you're able to click that activity. You can see which athletes completed that activity, when the last time they completed it was, and what their result was. And you'll be able to track that throughout the whole summer. You can see who's improving, or throughout the whole off season, excuse me, who's improving, who's putting in the most work, who's showing up to the most workouts. All of that stuff can be tracked, which is, like I said, to kind of help keep your athletes accountable and also keep that competition flowing throughout your off season. Now, I know I went through all that pretty quickly, and that's the general gist of my of the training that I went through. So I'm going to pause for maybe 30 seconds and give you guys a chance to ask some questions in the chat. Now, I'll answer those the best I can, and if I miss any of them, I'll be sure to get to them at the end here of our demonstration. But if you have any questions specific to training, let me know, and I'll answer those as soon as I can. Good question from Chris. He asks, is everything I've shown so far part of the free version? So everything, all the training is actually part of the elite upgrade. And so that's what I started with here. The training is all going to be it's $300 for your entire football program, middle school up through varsity, to get all of this training, these training features. And then, you'd also get access to the calendars and communication, which I'm about to show you guys next. So good question there. The training is a part of the elite upgrade. And then everything I'm going to show you from here on is going to be a part of the free version. All right, I don't see any more questions come in. Not a problem. If you have any, just type them as I go. Next, I'm going to jump to the calendars here. Essentially, with the calendars, you can create practice schedules, off-season schedules. Once your season comes around in the fall, you can create game schedules, or you can have your game schedule synced from your VNN website. But essentially, creating a new schedule is pretty easy. You click the plus, you name it, off-season schedule, or off-season, whatever. Add your description, change your color around, and then click save. Once you create that schedule, you're able to, we'll make sure that's the only one reviewing. You'll be able to click on a day, add an event to that schedule. So we'll click off season. We'll say off season training. Change your start time and your end time. You can add a location, a description. You can also set event reminders that get sent to your athlete. So maybe you want them to get notified an hour before your practice so they don't forget about it. Go ahead, click save. There it goes. And then from here, you're able to drag and drop these events. So let's say you have an off-season training, maybe every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. You can go ahead and you can drag and drop those events so that they appear. You don't have to create the same event twice. You can just drag and drop those for each month, etc. With that being said, all of those features are available inside the app as well. So your athletes and parents are able to tap on a day of the calendar. They can see what events are on that day, what time they're at, where they're at, all of those things. And then you as a coach can also add events and edit events inside the app on the calendar as well. So if you create a big schedule on the web version, then you want to go into the app and make some minor changes, you can easily do that from inside the VNN team app. The other thing that's super helpful here, especially for parents, is they can sync this right to their personal calendars. So if they use a Google or an Outlook calendar on their smartphones to kind of keep their whole family in check, they can include your VNN team app athletic schedule right to that personal calendar as well. Let's see, I got another question here. Yep, someone just asked, will the calendar sync to Google? Yes, it will. So as I just mentioned, you can sync that, and that's found under settings in the team app. So I don't have an image of it, but you'd go to more and then settings, and then from there it'll say calendar sync, and that's where you can sync it right to that Google Calendar. Awesome. All right, I'm going to move to communication. If you guys have any more questions, like I said, feel free to keep dropping them in the chat. Super helpful. But with the communication, essentially what you guys can do, you can send a text message, an email, or a push notification to any athlete, parent, or coach in your program. So if I select a text, I can select some groups. Let's say I want to select my varsity team, or maybe I'll select my JV and my varsity team. You can type your message, off-season training begins on Monday. Click send. That message is going to go out in whatever form you have to whatever groups that you have selected. Now you can also send this message to individual athletes, just parents, or both parents and athletes at once. And so essentially how it works to send messages to parents, if you select parents here, it'll go to the parents of whatever groups you have selected. So in this case, my JV parents and my varsity parents would receive this message. Similarly with both, it would go to both the JV athletes and JV parents, varsity athletes and varsity parents. From here, you can also see your sent messages. So you can go in and you can see what messages you've sent. You can see when you sent them, who they were delivered to, etc. And that way you're able to keep track of all of your messages to ensure that all of your parents and athletes are getting your information and that you don't have to worry about any mishaps with the communication there. Now with that being said, you can do all of that stuff from the phone as well. And everything I just showed you is one-way communication. So you can send these text, emails, and push notifications without having to worry about parents and athletes responding with a whole bunch of different questions. You can do that from inside the app as well. So you can select your recipients, text, email, or push, send now or later, type your message, click send right from inside the app. Now we also have two-way communication, and this functions as a group chat that is live inside your app. So with the Elite version, you can create unlimited group chats where you can send messages back and forth between players and parents, and they can respond. Those messages will live inside the app. They won't ever disappear. And then we also, and then just to note, with the free version, you get two of those group chats, so an all-parent chat and an all-athlete chat. Same thing, but you would just have those two group chats to get started. So that's all the communication. We have one-way communication if you don't want to get bombarded with questions. We have that two-way communication as well if you want them to be able to respond and collaborate with you. Both of those are available inside the app, and then the one-way communication is also available here from the web version on your computer as well. All right, I'm going to pause here, answer a couple more questions, and then finally I will conclude by going over steps for you to get started. So I'll talk about that here in just a second. I got one question here. Will it sync the other way from Google to VNN? Good question. No, it will not. So with the calendars, you can create your calendars and sync those to your Google calendars from your phone. However, you can't go the other way around. Now, one thing you can do is you can sync it from your VNN website. So any athletic schedule that's posted on your VNN athletic website will sync to the team app. So if you're AD or if one of your admins post your guys' game schedule on your VNN site, that will automatically sync. However, you wouldn't be able to sync it from Google, just from a straight up Google Calendar to your calendar here on the app. Good question there. All right. That being said, I'm gonna finish up here by talking about the steps for you guys to get started. And before I do that, I just want to leave a couple of notes here for you. If you have any questions for me specifically, please either number one, send me an email personally at luke@gomax1.com, or send me your email in the chat. So after this, I can be sure to send you this recording to your email, so that if you have any questions or if you want to refer back on how to get started on something, you'll be able to do that. So if I don't have your email, please send that in the chat to me, or send me an email personally. And before I jump to getting started, we have one more question. It said, how do you manage to end of season? Can you keep the info but push seniors out of the communication system? Yeah, so that's a good question. Couple ways to do that. If you want your seniors to still be in your program, you can leave them in here. But if you don't want them to get notifications or any of the communication, but you want them to stay in here for leaderboard purposes, you can just remove them from whatever groups they were in. So if you have 10 seniors that were a part of the varsity team, you can go to your varsity group here. You can deselect the athletes that were seniors, click save, and update that group. Or if you don't care about, if you don't want them to be a part of your program anymore, and you don't care if you want their leaderboards to kind of get wiped clean, you can just go in, You can click on the athlete, click the little trash can icon, and it will remove them from your system so you don't have to worry about them receiving messages or any of that stuff as well. Great question there. All right, so now I'm going to talk about how to get started, how to get activated in your program. And really there's a couple steps. There's like 3 steps for you guys to get started with the VNN team app, whether it be the free version or the paid version. And the first step starts with your home.getvnn screen. So that's this screen right here. This is where you'll go to activate your program. You won't be able to sign into the app until you have activated your program on your VNN site here. Now, it's possible that your athletic director has already activated your program for you. And if that's the case, you can try to sign in and get started. But if it doesn't let you sign into the app, you'll have to go to your home.getvnn.com and find the VNN team box and click activate my team. Now, what you're seeing now is an example of a team that's already been activated because it says view team right here. If your program hadn't been activated yet, this would say activate my team, and you would just click that box. It would take you to this new page here, and you would find a button under number 1 right here that says activated my team. Now, I'm going to send you this link in the chat. So if you haven't activated your program yet, you can take that link, you can sign in, you can click activate your team, and then you'll be able to sign in on the web or on your phone once you download the app. So that's step 1, is getting your team activated. The second step is to just download the app on your smartphone and to sign in, or to sign in from the web version of the app, which is what I was showing you here today. So I am going to send you the link for this as well. So if you guys want to sign in on the app a little bit later, you can do so. I'll send you all this in a follow-up email as well as the recording of this webinar. So we've got that in there. And that's step 2. So step 1, activate your program. Step 2, download the app and sign in. And step 3 is to invite your athletes. Now, to invite your athletes, each program has an invite code that's specific to their program. This one says Vikings athlete number 1. You can change that code in settings and make it whatever you want. But you're also given a randomly generated code when you sign up. So you can take that code, you can copy it and send it to your athletes. Say, hey guys, download the VNN team app, tap create an account, and use this code to get started. You'll find that code in the app as well. So if you download the app and sign in, you go to the team tab at the bottom, you'll see an invite code in the top right corner. That's the same code that you'll find online. You can use that code to send to your athletes so that they can get started in the team app as soon as today. So that's step 3. Step 3.5, we'll call it, is inviting parents. And parents are going to get started a little bit differently. Parents are going to download the VNN team app and create their accounts, and then they're actually going to link to their athlete. So the reason we have them link is for basically security purposes. We want to verify that the athlete and the parent, that it is their correct parent. And so essentially after the athlete creates their account, the parent will go and create their account, and then they'll send a link request to their athlete's phone number. Then all the athlete has to do is accept that link. The parent will then be linked to their athlete, which means they'll be able to view your calendars, which means you'll be able to send them, the communication messages. They'll be able to kind of keep pace with your guys' school and team news inside the app for their program. Now, all of those processes, I'll send you guys in some videos for. I'm going to post this link in the chat as well. I'll also send it to you in a follow-up email. But essentially, we have a video for athletes, a video for parents, and another video for parents for how they create their account and sign up to link with their athlete. I just posted that link in the chat as well. And those videos will be super helpful for your parents if they have some questions. So to review, step 1, activate your program. Step 2, sign in and get started inside the app. And then step 3, invite your athletes and parents. Now, if you come across any questions or issues, or maybe your parents aren't quite sure how to sign up, please ask me or send me your parents' information that are having issues, and I'll be happy to reach out to them to get them set up. 9 times out of 10, the reason parents can't get signed up is user error. It's something that they're confused about or they don't quite understand. So if you send them my email and have them come my way, I'd be happy to help get them set up and ensure that they're signed up properly. I'm going to post my email in the chat again. It's luke@gomax1.com. It's helpful if you send me a new email, or you can just respond to the email, for this webinar that I sent you guys as well. With all of that being said, I gave you guys a ton of information today. And so if you have any questions, let me know. I am going to kind of wrap things up here and let you guys post some questions in the chat. So if you have any questions, feel free to keep typing those in there, and I'll stay on for about 5 or so more minutes and answer as many of the questions that you guys can. The other thing I want to mention is if you're interested in upgrading to the elite version of the platform for your program, so for the $300, if you want unlimited messaging as well as all of the training features, please shoot me a personal email and I'll make sure you guys get set up. We can get you set up as soon as today if you want. So again, email me if you're interested in the elite or if you have any questions, and I will be happy to get you guys started, whether it be in the free version or the paid version here as soon as possible. So again, I really appreciate your guys' time today. I hope this was helpful for you, and I'm hopeful that you see the value that it can bring. And as I said, I will give you guys about 3 or 4 or 5 minutes here to ask some questions in the chat before we log off for the day. So again, I appreciate it, and I'll be looking forward to answering your questions. All right, everybody. I don't see any more questions come in. So if you do have any more questions pop up, feel free to email me personally, and I'll be happy to answer those. But I am going to log off now as I don't see any more questions coming in. But you have my email, and so if you do have questions that pop up, please email me, and I would be happy to get you guys set up and answer those questions for you. So again, thanks for the time today. I really appreciate it, and I hope you guys have a great weekend. I'll talk to you later. Thanks. Bye-bye.